Our Lady of Perpetual Balance, or to whom it may concern.
Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change.
Courage to change the things I can.
And wisdom to know the difference.
Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time.
Accepting hardships as the pathway to peace.
Taking this sinful world as it is.
Not as I would have it.
Trusting that he will make all things right if I surrender to his will.
His will, her will, or their will. We're equal opportunity here.
That I may be reasonably happy in this life. Reasonably, that's fair.
And supremely happy with him.
Or with her. Or with them, right? Because
Forever in the next.
Play ball.
Woo!
You know, I think I got some more spout slots.
I definitely lost my potion last time.
You crouch between the stones and you find yourself entering a huge ass cave.
Ass cave.
Can we see anything?
It's dim, but there's something reflecting light.
So there's a crack? Or a hole?
Can we figure out where it's coming from?
Roll a perception check for me and I'll let you know.
Oh, you want her rolling perception? Isn't her modifier like -12?
No, that's mine.
Oh, suck it, Nat 17!
Nobody says Nat 17.
You all walk until you reach a reflecting pool. The whole cavern is filled with water so clear it's almost glowing. And when you look down, you see yourselves, but it's not exactly yourselves. It's clearer than a mirror. When you lock eyes with your reflection, it's like you're looking at someone totally new. You, but not you.
Hello, beautiful. Who the hell are you?
Great question. Roll for initiative.
Yes.
The enemy, the real enemy is yourself.
Okay. I have a really cool idea for a character backstory for you. This one's free of charge, all right? Okay, so get this. There's a little girl growing up in a cult who eventually runs away because she's been promised to a prophet who is decades older than she is, and she wants to take control of her own life. And that's the start of the adventure. What do you think? Too tropey, far-fetched. Well, the thing is, it's not a character backstory. It's my backstory. Yes, it's all true. Take it or leave it. I mean, except the adventure part. Unless you consider navigating the foster care system, going into anger management, and falling down a black hole of alcoholism adventure, which I don't, personally. The cult was my church. The prophet was, well, our 62-year-old prophet, and the little girl was me as a teenager. If I hadn't left, I'd be a child bride, but all grown up. Adult bride. One of several. You know the type. We're easy to make fun of because if you've heard a rumor, it's probably true. The girls keep me around, though, because I do have residual handwork skills from all the time I spent training to become a devoted wife and mother. I made them all capes. Hoods, shiny linings. Sam says glitter. It seemed like the best way to ease into the group at the time. The Dungeons and Dragons group, I mean. I hadn't heard of it either before they wrote me in. It's this game you play in a group. Everybody makes a character, and there's a dungeon master who makes up the story, and everything you do is based on rolling weird dice and hoping you get a big number. You get to fight stuff. Trust me, it's fun. I'm the most recent member. They had to draw me in slowly. I guess something happened to their healer. I don't know the whole story. All I know is I sat down to see what it was all about, and Sylvie, who's in charge, sat me down with this book, and we flipped through what was essentially an encyclopedia of various and sundry ass kickers. Sylvie stopped and made this face and was like, "Would you consider making a monk?" And I laughed so hard I asphyxiated, died, and was reincarnated as a fruit fly. She didn't know. She couldn't know that when I left home, I knew it was the same thing as leaving the church, denouncing organized religion forever. I didn't just leave the church. I snuck out of the church in the middle of the night, hitchhiked to Rochester, and never looked back. I excommunicated myself. And she wants me to play a monk for fun in my spare time. Me? A heathen? When you're raised in it, getting away isn't too much different than being an addict. Like, oh, one drink can't hurt. Yes, it can. So I thought if I dipped my toe in and played some weird monk, I'd be getting too close to a world I'd left because it was bad for me. Should I walk into a bar? Definitely not. Anyone would tell you that. But you want me to walk into a monastery? It just seemed risky, like I could catch religion by getting too close to it. I didn't know how to say that, though, so I said I'd think about it. I knew it wouldn't be a monk, though. Of all the religious classes, she had to suggest a monk? And I know now that it's D&D, and you can be an evil disciple of a chaos god from a hell dimension if that's what your heart desires. But at the time, I was picturing robes and cloisters and vows of silence. That's what monks were to me. And what made it even more hilarious was that even before I started drinking, I used to get in trouble for fighting. Like, violence. I was an angry kid, and it had been building for years. It was like an intensity and a need for feedback. I knew the heat wouldn't go away unless I heard something snap. But I was full of this energy, this red hot momentum that needed to go somewhere, and so I just haul off, and someone got hurt. And I hated myself after. I hated myself because I didn't want to do something to someone else. I just needed the release, and it worked. I got into therapy, anger management, and it's not so bad now. Of course, I replaced the violence with alcohol, which was great for a while because it worked, but not forever. Not for long. And I wouldn't do a 12-step program because it just set me off. It wasn't for someone like me. It was too much like church. And Sylvie wanted me to play a monk. Turns out they didn't need a monk specifically. They needed a healer. And the last one had been a cleric, I guess. And it didn't need to be a religious class, but that was the gap they were trying to fill in the party. It also turned out that monks aren't traditionally healers, so I'd basically found a get out of jail free card. We kept talking about it, and someone, it was Haley. Haley asked, "Can you be an agnostic cleric?" And Sylvie was, Sylvie. And she said, "Sure, you can be whatever the hell you want." But I was stuck because even though I'd been gone a while, I had a pretty questionable education, and I'd been avoiding religion, so I'd never actually heard the word agnostic before. Like, could I be an agnostic cleric? I had no idea. I had to look it up on my phone in the bathroom. But then once I did, I was like, well, can I? because that's a backstory and a compromise. They'd get their religious character and their healer, and I wouldn't end up playing out a messed up version of my childhood through a little avatar. This is sober living, not group therapy. And if I was going to be doing this in my free time, I wanted to like it. I was like, well, if I do this thing, can I at least get a weapon? That's another backstory for you. How I became an agnostic paladin without actually knowing what I was signing up for. I named her Natalia. It sounded exotic. Coming from a compound upstate, everything sounds exotic. Natalia had been hearing voices her whole life, giving her quests and inspiration, kind of like Joan of Arc. But instead of believing she was a prophet, she thought she might be crazy. But not so crazy that the deeds weren't worth doing. And she liked to fight, and she wanted to find out for sure if there was a god out there who had chosen her to do this work. So, agnostic paladin, because what you don't know for sure can't hurt you. That much. The thing that drove me crazy was that Natalia didn't know who this divine presence was, but me, Ash, I kind of had to know, because I had to tell Sylvie so she could build it all into the story. So she gave me these books, all these websites, and she was like, pick a god, any god. She didn't rush me, so I took my time. And I learned another new word. First agnostic, then homebrew. Basically everything. Every single thing in the game was negotiable. If you did a little research and came up with something cool and fair. You could make your own item, or monster, or god. I could decide every single aspect about who I let in this paladin's head. So, this is what I decided. God's a woman. God's chaotic, which is why bad things happen to the best people and good things happen to garbage people. And she's forgiving, which is important. If she can make mistakes, so can we. That's fair. And she's deserving of forgiveness because she has our backs more than she doesn't. As her priestesses, she chooses the angry, the people with fire in their hearts, and they fight in her name, but also heal in her name. There's balance in the end, always. She makes sure. Chaos and order at the same time, at a scale we can't imagine because we're small and mortal, and it would blow our minds. So, me and Natalia, we heal more than we harm. We're doing our part to achieve that balance. We're setting things right through time and space, across dimensions, in two worlds at once, through actions and restraint and a weird kind of faith. What she doesn't know, but I do, is that our homebrew god came from my own mind. I'm the voice in her head. Me. And if I put that voice in her head, I can keep the voice in mine because I guess it's already there. I'm divine and messy, and I did hurt people, but I also do good. There's no time limit on finding balance. There's no due date on karma. I can still heal more people than I ever hurt. And I will. I will.
Do you think we can heal?
Natalia's looking pretty rough, not gonna lie. Healer, heal thyself.
I would if I could. Maybe you can make camp and give a girl a break.
Oh, yeah, I'm down to camp. Let's go back to the spooky cave with the mood lighting.
It's like a full day's walk, just FYI.
Yeah, that sounds good.
You want to walk for a full day? Well, we're half dead because there's mood lighting.
Bow, chicka, wow, wow. Jesus Christ.
I thought the idea was to rest.
We all recharge in our own special ways, so.
Say that again.
I will.
In the sexy cave.
There is no such thing as a sexy cave. I'm not bending on this.
Oh.
Caves can't be sexy. Resting is not sexy. Neither are open bleeding wounds, and I think I have a few of those.
You know, on second thought, I can totally spare a spell slot.
I'm a Googler. I Google. And before there was Google, there was Ask Jeeves. So I asked Jeeves everything. The internet was a simpler place back then. Every time you got a search result, it felt like discovering something that someone had left for you. Websites were run by people, mostly, not companies like they are now. I know, because I taught myself to code as a kid. I made websites about the kinds of harmlessly esoteric things geeky, lonely kids made websites about, like this medieval fantasy series that went out of print before I was born. If you do a search for my name, it still brings up old guestbook entries from the early aughts, back when I used to log on to AOL chat rooms and to pretend to be in high school. I left breadcrumbs all over the internet, leading to the weird little niches I created for myself, thinking that eventually there had to be someone out there who would be happy to find me. I imagined she'd be a girl like me, and that she'd love the internet as much as I did, and we could chat and make drag and drop cartoon dolls until bedtime, and I'd go to bed happy every day because I'd have a secret. I had so much affection for this imaginary dream friend and couldn't fall asleep at night because I was too busy smiling in the dark, excited about the possibility of just being seen. And that, to me, was love. That was the excitement I felt in the dark when the lights went out. All of my real-life friendships were either intense and destined for ruin, or existed mostly in my mind, with a kid I admired who didn't think twice of me unless they were looking directly at me. I was so much in my head. So I spent all of this time, all of this wasted time crying about things that weren't on anyone else's radar but my own, because just being with people was as intense as it got for me. I didn't have crushes on boys. I had a crush on the idea of Katie Bertucci from down the block walking home from school with me, because her attention would have been everything. It would have been the world. I used to Google poems, sonnets. I used to Google porn, 18 plus fanfic about vampires and coitus. I used the phrase throbbing, alabaster, manhood in a creative writing assignment in 4th grade and got sent to the counselor because I was 9. Throbbing, alabaster, manhood. I was trying to wrap my head around lust. I'm still trying to wrap my head around lust. The idea of attraction made no sense to me because whenever I'd picture that secret internet friend, they didn't look like anything. And I'd never felt a longing more insistent than that tug on my soul in the dark. I thought it meant I was unlovable. And I believed it for a long time. It takes very little for a person to convince themselves they're broken, and not much more to start to self-medicate. Get drunk enough and you won't even be entirely sure you're having sex, let alone dreading it. I thought that was how to be normal. I was pretty stoked when the girls in the house asked me to play with them. That fantasy novel I used to be into was about this girl who lives in a forest, and because she's pure and good, a unicorn devotes himself to her. I don't remember any other plotline, just the girl and the unicorn, so that was the first thing I asked about unicorns. And then I Googled, because I wasn't going to play this game in a world where there were actual unicorns, and not get a unicorn! Well, not get. Never get. That's kind of the point. The unicorn is just devoted to you. Mutually. You just had to be the right kind of person. And this time, I got to decide what kind of person I was. So I was going to do it, whatever it took. If in this universe I had to sell my soul, I was ready to cross my fingers and hope my unicorn is shiny! So I googled how to marry a unicorn in D&D. Not because I wanted to marry a unicorn. This is not a bestiality thing. It's not even a furry thing, though I have no problem with them. Kink out. Whatever. It was not knowing what the hell to type into the search bar to figure out if there was a way to get your own devoted unicorn in a game I knew nothing else about. Took some scrolling, but eventually I learned about an exalted prestige class, like a character with a really specific kind of backstory called the Beloved of Valerian. And I quote, the Beloved of Valerian, also called Valerian's Beloved, are women who have forsworn the love of mortals to dedicate themselves entirely to the unicorn deity Valerian, thus fostering a close bond with unicorns. Her relationship with the unicorn is nothing less than a partnership forged in light. She has a closer emotional bond to her mount than she does with her own family members. Just as she relies on the unicorn relies on her to help keep its mysteries safe. That was it. That was it, right? There were some criteria, of course. That's how a prestige class works. Must be female, must be good, must know how to ride a horse and swing a sword at the same time, and must take a vow of chastity. If you break the vow, the unicorn leaves without hard feelings, but leaves forever. You have to be pure. And I thought, okay, let's do it. This is a fictional character, blank slate. If I say she's pure, she's pure. And that was so liberating. Imagine knowing from the beginning of your life that wanting sex isn't the thing that makes you valid. Imagine having ideals so strong that you don't fold under peer pressure like you have again and again and again. Unfortunately, the stats I needed weren't early game stats, so I had to level up and be patient. Stay pure until I get to the sacred grove and my unicorn appears from the mist. It seemed really easy. It's a quest game, right? How much sex were the other characters having? Exactly. I wasn't anticipating much more throbbing alabaster manhood in my future. And there wasn't. But there was Haley. Haley plays a bard, Leora, and there's a stat called charisma. It's a stat I don't have much of in real life, but Haley has plenty. It's like social skills meets sex appeal. Public relations professional meets deep ocean siren. It's like the cool stat. And Leora had plenty, so she hit on everyone constantly. Evil lady at the end, forget rolling for initiative. Somehow she ended up rolling a charisma check and trying to sleep with her. Mysterious spirit in the woods. Charisma check, roll to woo her. I won't even mention her thing with the enchantress. And when no NPCs were around, none of us were safe. It was adolescence all over again. Trying to be persuasive enough to convince our bard that she did not want to sleep with my elven druid. Another stat I apparently don't have in abundance. I tried. I told her I'm an elf. I'm way too old for a human. I told her I'm devoted to chastity because I'm pursuing a post as the guardian of the light. I told her I wasn't interested in musicians, in people with questionable moral alignment, in her. She was so convinced I was messing with her, or that I could be changed. And she didn't know. She wasn't like me. And that wasn't a problem because most people aren't. And it was pretty obvious to all of us that she was exploring some part of herself, which is why she was going so over the top. But that didn't make it okay for her to decide that what I wanted and what I needed weren't real or worth being listened to or valid. But for a long time, I felt that way too. About myself. And those were the darkest days for me. That was my rock bottom. I didn't want to go there again. I had built my entire character, her entire world around this goal. Every part of her. It was part of the fabric of who she was, like it or not. And Haley couldn't see it. Or wouldn't. So, I guess I had to stop being so shy about it. Every time she tried anything, I had an answer. I'm the beloved of Valerian. I don't swing that way. Every time. Wouldn't let her get a word in edgewise. I said it a lot. I said it so many times that I started to believe it. Not in the game, in my real life. Some people are friends of Dorothy. I'm beloved of Valerian. I'm Ace. I always have been. Not because of something that happened to me. Not because something is wrong. It's part of me, fundamentally, and it has shaped all of my relationships and my interactions and my desires for as long as I can remember. And it takes a lot of work to find a unicorn and be worthy of one. But it's not impossible. So, maybe one day, who knows? I'm not broken. I'm beloved. And I'm not attracted to musicians!
So, who here can read Orc? Nope, not me.
I hate to be that guy, but do we need to read it? I'm pretty sure it says something like, "Here there be monsters."
There's always something bad ahead in this game.
That's what makes it an adventure.
That's what makes you evil.
So nobody reads Orc?
Oh, whatever it says, we have weapons, right? Ash has the potions we picked up near the campsite. Sam just leveled up. We're good.
So you just don't want to read it?
Does it matter what it says if we're all prepared? I mean, are we gonna be any more or less prepared if we know what it says?
But do you know we're prepared?
Does anybody ever? Let's go, people! This is a song I wrote. About a song I wrote. So, yeah, hope you like it. This is all a true story, by the way. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Okay.
Oh, many moons back, in a long time ago, lived a young girl named Haley and her dear high school beau. Together they loved, and together they lay. He was the friends opened a door. She was drunk on her freedom, getting high more and more. She was bombed eating breakfast. By lunch she was fried. The more Haley used, the more Haley lied. The boy he didn't notice, the boy he did fret. Their love was a promise he began to regret. They fought almost daily, he screamed himself hoarse. She claimed she would change, but he threatened divorce. It's the ballad of Haley Sinclair, Nate Jones. The ballad of Haley Sinclair, Nate Jones. Come here it comes, feel it way down in your bones. The ballad of Haley Sinclair, Nate Jones. It's the ballad of Haley Sinclair, Nate Jones. The ballad of Haley Sinclair, Nate Jones. A record of this can be found on their phones. The ballad of Haley Sinclair, Nate Jones. He left her, he did. They split up, he moved on. She OD'd at his house, nearly died on his lawn. Doing her hair, the light gone from her eyes. She lay at rock bottom and looked up at the sky. In the red and blue light, when the medics came near, she saw herself clearly, felt nothing but fear. That was the night that the change had to start. She'd mend all her vices, her lifestyle, her heart. Rehab was hell, but hell's just a place. She learned she was ready for freedom, for space. She moved into a house full of girls fighting hard. They asked her to join them, now she plays the bard. The girl she'd known loved once, but chose not to fight. A love that's familiar is not a love that is right. It's a ballad of Haley Sinclair, Nate Jones. Ballad of Haley Sinclair, Nate Jones. Cause she knows she's fucked up and sincerely adores. The ballad of Haley Sinclair, Nate Jones. It's the ballad of Haley Sinclair, Nate Jones. The ballad of Haley Sinclair, Nate Jones. She looked back on mistakes that she now fully owns. The ballad of Haley Sinclair, Nate Jones.
Just a heads up, this is the part where things start to get pretty gay. So, if that bothers you, I guess I'll see you in hell.
Was unexpected, but she started to feel that when wooing a woman, the feelings seem real. So she wooed and she wooed no matter the last, just to see if these new lusty feelings would pass. Then enter a wizard with hair like the night. What a sexy enchantress, why surrender I find. Now on her adventure, she started to see the romantic potential of hot NPCs. The wizard was lovely, the wizard was deep. She dreamed of this fictional girl in her sleep. What did it mean that she started to feel a passionate lust for someone who's not real? Felt just like practice, was almost the same. Did she really crave women? Was it only a game? There's one way to know if she'd gone way too far. It's never too late to find out who you are. The ballad of Haley Sinclair, Nate Jones. The ballad of Haley Sinclair, Nate Jones. I long for the sound of her sensual bones. The ballad of Haley Sinclair, Nate Jones. The ballad of Haley Sinclair, Nate Jones. The ballad of Haley Sinclair, Nate Jones. She write her a song with a passion tone. The ballad of Haley Sinclair, Nate Jones.
That's when I remembered. I'm a human bard. I did what I had to do. I'll give you one guess.
She was was up for the task of composing a tune to see if her passion could make a girl swoon. So she took all the words to describe how she'd feel if her wizard was flesh and her feelings were real. And she wrote her a song that could make golems cry, cause demons to weep, and a goddess to die. One day when it's all going right, perform for a girl on some beautiful night. That song is a dream in the back of her head that she'll sing in her mind while she lay in her bed. This isn't that song, and this isn't that night. There's still miles to go, there are battles to fight. There'll come a time when she goes from this place that she knows more than most that it isn't a race. Love to be patient, love to be true. The day's gonna come when I sing it for you. It's the day's gonna come when I sing it for you. It's the ballad of Haley Sinclair Nate Jones. Ballad of Haley Sinclair Nate Jones. She'll hear it, she'll feel it way down in her bones. The ballad of Haley Sinclair Nate Jones. Ballad of Haley Sinclair Nate Jones. The ballad of Haley Sinclair Nate Jones. She'll hear it, she'll feel it way down in her bones. Ballad of Haley Sinclair Nate Jones.
You come to the edge of a clearing, and it seems like the trees here have grown in a perfect circle. The sunlight from above fills the space, unobstructed by stray branches or limbs. All around you, the rest of the forest seems super dark by comparison.
What can I tell about this place?
Why don't you roll a perception check?
Why is it always a perception check? Okay. That's an 11 and 2. 13.
It's peaceful here. You have no reason to believe it isn't as safe as it looks. There's not much here, though. Maybe a place to sleep and spend time with your party for a while.
Great, let's stay.
Why would we stay?
Get our shit together? I don't know. It's safe here for a change. We don't know what's out there in the trees. What if it's something awesome?
Probably dangerous. We've been out there before getting to this point. We know what could go wrong.
Yeah, but what could go right?
There's nothing wrong with stopping for a while to regroup, but we can't stay here. It's kind of boring.
We didn't come this far to sing Kumbaya in the woods.
Oh, but what if we did?
We are not
I'll start.
singing Kumbaya in the woods.
Oh, look who wants to leave now.
What can I say? I've gained some perspective.
Perfectionist isn't a title that you pick for yourself. It's just that people think that it is, which only makes it worse. People don't choose this because even the best of us go crazy trying. And you know what's worse than being neurotic and obsessive and obedient your entire life? Being bad at it while the title is still shining over you like a white-hot beacon. Here there be angels. Here there be saints. And sure, I did blush when you made a compliment about how I'm always on time, but I can't look anyone in the eye when they're pointing out how organized and disciplined I am, because chances were, for a while, that I had just come back from digging through your medicine cabinet and had your old pills burning a hole in my pocket. Let me stand just so you won't see the little oblong capsules in my pocket and I'll get a compliment about my dancer's posture. Let me be quiet and polite so you won't suspect me and I'll hear all about how respectful I am. What a good listener. When you know you're the worst person in the world, and you're lying to doctors and stealing money and keeping stashes in your sock drawer, it's easy to burst into tears when they make a speech about how kind and deserving you are. I wasn't. I was inoffensive, realistically. That's the best I could say. Not just since I started using, but always. Not like Mora. It took Mora no work at all to melt into a puddle when I tickle her, or pull a dimple out of nowhere so deep you could drown in it. She was soft, and she was good. And she was 3 years old. My baby. My baby sister. And I've been to a lot of meetings, and I can't bring her up without people assuming I was using the day she died. As if we live in a world where bad things only happen to bad, mean drug addicts. I was 12. I was babysitting. I had never touched drugs or alcohol. I loved my sister and my dog, and I wanted to be a professional ballerina when I grew up. Straight A's since kindergarten. I was perfect, right? So very good that my mom left me home with her all the time. How nice that mom had been knocked up at 17 and had the foresight to give birth to free labor before she met her husband and had her real kid. I know. You want to know what happened. You're assuming it's a whole story. It's not. A TV fell on her when I was in the other room, and I've been blamed for it my entire life. You can fill in your own blanks. I'm not telling it again. That's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about Mora. The other Mora. The cleric I played when I first joined the group. The healer slot that suddenly opened up when Ash came to the house. Nobody talks about what happened because they think I don't want to. They were right at first, but now I do. When I sat down with my first character sheet, and Sylvie told us she was building a fantasy world and we could bring any character we wanted to live in a place with magic and heroes, I thought of her. My sister. She was a hero in my mind anyway. I was always thinking about what she'd be like if she'd grown up. So here was this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to let her exist out in the open. I wasn't going to screw it up. Okay, I'm not stupid. I know why people call me a perfectionist. I agonized over every part of her, every stat and every ability, every language, all of that. She'd be a cleric, a healer, and definitely lawful good. The girls didn't know Mora was my sister, and I didn't tell them. Sam was excited because she was trying to make an ultra pure druid elf girl, and she wanted them to be friends. And I liked that. The idea of Mora having a best friend and helping people. I forged a girl from light. Mora was everything she deserved to be. And I got to play her. I got to make choices for her and speak in her voice and bring her to beautiful places where she could do good in that world since she didn't have a chance to in this one. It was like playing Snow White. She solved her problems through compromise and talking to animals. She was absolutely, without a doubt, the most boring, sterile, painfully dull character in the game and possibly the entire extended universe. She took no risks because I was precious with her. She earned EXP at a snail's pace. She wasn't even helpful as a healer because I was trying to balance her skill points across the board. But I figured that's what I deserved, so I showed up with Mora every time we met. And that's how we spent time together. In this weird fantasy purgatory where neither of us felt fully alive. It made me hate the game. I was Goldilocks, laying in the little just right bed I'd made for myself, knowing with certainty that any minute the bears would be home and tear out my guts and put me out of my misery. And just like before, you want to know what happened. You know she's not in the game anymore. Ash is playing the healer now, so what happened? This time, I will talk about it. History repeats itself. It's the only thing history knows how to do. Happen and keep happening. Mora died. Again. In the game. And right now, you want to be mad at Sylvie for being the worst DM ever and letting a character die so early in the campaign and not helping me out, but it's not her fault. It's not. She told us she was new and this was her first campaign and she was still working out how to not pick enemies that were overpowered. She wouldn't do anything she couldn't take back. And the second we realized that Mora took heavy damage, it wasn't a big dramatic moment where everyone gasped and I sobbed and we held a candlelight vigil. She winked at me, tried to slip me some points under the table. She wasn't really going to let her die. First, I couldn't stop giggling. Hilarious. I was actually having a panic attack. I walked away, sat in my bed, and I shook because what do you know? Clearly, my mother was right. I couldn't be trusted with Mora, the girl, or her memory. In a fantasy world, surrounded by magic, impossible landscapes, and literal gods walking the streets, where anything could happen and nothing could hurt, I'd killed my sister again. Me. You know, the perfectionist. Sylvie came to find me. Sylvie's not just my DM, she's also my friend. She's never in a rush. So she has a way of making people feel comfortable. She told me that when she leaves the house, she wants to go to school to be a social worker. Better her than me. I think she'd be good at it, though. She's patient. I know because she listened to my whole story. Mora's whole story. And we talked about her. Not about Mora, the holier than the gods cleric, but Mora, the person. The human who I loved. And in the moment, in the stories, she was more real and more alive than that character ever was. Because I realized nobody ever asked about Mora the person. They asked about how she died, Mora the corpse. They asked about the perfect Mora from the Sears portraits they had on display at the service. The cherub we could speak no ill about because she was gone. The one I wanted to bring to life in the game. But never the Mora who loved dinosaurs so much that she sobbed, like beet red, full volume sobbed, because when we went to see them at the museum, they weren't alive and she couldn't pet them like at the farm. And spent the whole car ride home insisting she wanted her money back. Mora, who didn't know how to read unless she was reading to the dog. She'd take out her books and tell Murphy the stories like a little grown-up, even though she was making up all the words. And he used to sit there so patiently with her. And it was always so peaceful then. Mora, who insisted that dark blue and light blue were totally different colors until the day she died. She called light blue C. We thought she meant the letter random toddler stuff. One day she was coloring and we realized she meant C. sea like the ocean. Has anyone in all of history been that effortlessly brilliant? What kind of a mind did we lose? She was supposed to be my sister. And I don't think I'll ever forget this. Sylvie said, "Isn't it crazy that a roll of the dice got her twice?" A roll of the dice. Probability. Bad luck. My whole life, my mom blamed me. Whether she told me so or not, my whole life, I'd let her. But I didn't smite Mora. I didn't throw a TV on top of her. I was a 12-year-old babysitter left home alone with a toddler in a room with a TV that wasn't tethered to the wall. A roll of the dice, she'd said. And it was like she'd found the steam release valve on my soul and decades of tension slipped out of my body all at once. My life didn't have to be a penance. Being pristine wasn't getting me anywhere because I'm not pristine. I'm not lawful good. I'm not Sam trying to catch a unicorn. I'm not Snow White. I'm a human being. And Mora was a human being, and I'm sorry. I am. But in the world we have made together, there is a God of balance who believes in amends over time, and I have been perfect for long enough. Now I play a fighter. She is fierce and chaotic, messy, even. She fits like a glove. I come to the table every time we play, and I practice making mistakes, and I love it. Practice makes perfect. I guess old habits die hard.
The town is small, and there aren't too many buildings other than the tavern, which you see popping off in the distance.
Everybody in ye old club getting tipsy.
Why are there so many taverns in this game?
Why are there so many taverns in the world?
They do good business, I guess.
But you create the towns, right? So why keep adding taverns? Couldn't you make it like a Baskin Robbins?
Yeah, I could go for some 31 flavors.
I just put it there. You can decide if you want to go inside or walk right by. It's up to you.
But what if there's like a quest? We're supposed to pass through the town?
Yeah, where are we supposed to meet the rugged ladies with eye patches?
Baskin Robbins.
What if I told you this tavern was known for its soft serve?
Oh, hell yeah. I enter the tavern.
I guess we're going in.
You don't have to. There's a whole town here. Homes, little shops. Where do you want to go?
I don't know yet.
Well, when you do, I got you. Hey, my name is Sylvie, and I'm an alcoholic. No, I'm just kidding. Well, no, I'm not kidding about being an alcoholic. I am an alcoholic, but I'm sober 11 months now, so yay. That's wild, honestly. 11 months. I don't think I've done anything for 11 months in my entire life up until this moment. It's kind of my thing, not finishing stuff. Not intentionally, but you know how it is. I didn't actually finish high school. I got really close, like really close, but not close enough for it to count. I just couldn't take another day in my creepy stepdad's house, not with all the pressure and everyone around me all excited about colleges and that kind of thing. And I got this wild idea in my head that I was going to go become a stand-up. I don't know where it came from. I was so fucking cocky. I guess that's the good thing about being 18. You're actually invincible. In your own mind, anyway. I went to Vegas. I was going to become a comedian, but it turns out it's a little high rent up there. So even though my dad was willing to help me out in the early days, I found myself in Reno instead. You know how many comedy careers start out in Reno? Neither do I. I never really met a successful comedian there. I mean, they tried. The people of Reno were like a city of tryhards, like a whole city of Justines. Needless to say, I had a fantastic career there as a cocktail waitress. It was the only way I could think of to get close to the comics, try to book some opening acts, get my feet wet a bit. Despite what you might have heard about me, I am not entirely an extrovert, and there was no shortage of liquid courage at the time, so I took full advantage, met a girl, moved in with her. So much for the stand-up career. The relationship didn't last that long either, if I'm being honest. After I crashed the car the second time, I lost the girl, lost the job, didn't have a way to get to work, so it was just me and the desert. And a bunch of friends I made through the second-rate level 1 improv classes that I never actually finished. That's how I got into D&D to begin with. There's just something about improvisers and tabletop gaming. A magnetism. The funny thing is, I actually didn't like D&D then. I'd come for the booze and the chips, but I never played. Like me, a hero. I just didn't see it. But I liked the stories and the dice, and I used to read the manuals while everyone else played and watch the DM with all the charts. This one time I got really high and ended up at this playground on one of those plastic suspension bridges between two slides, It's like a foot off the ground. It's fake danger. Anyway, I was laying there on my back and looking up at the sky and thinking about rocks. Because when I was a kid, if you were one of the weird kids, instead of playing on the playground, you crawled under the playground and played with the rocks. There were like thousands of rocks. And I was thinking about the person who gets to make playgrounds for kids and how they know exactly what to build so that the crazy daredevil kids and the weird kids and the make-believe kids and the competitive kids with all the blisters and scabs and stuff, all the different kinds of kids there are who play on playgrounds, they all have something to do. And that's the dream, right? You build a world where everyone can just be happy, and you fill it with rocks so that the kids who aren't happy can go bury their hands under the slide every day for their entire childhood and forget why they don't want to go home. Someone put those rocks there for me. And yeah, I know I was as high as fuck, but I remember laying there and crying and thinking that I didn't know what the hell I was supposed to be, but if I ever designed the world, I wanted it to be the best world. All the rocks, all the bridges for when the weird kids grow up and need somewhere to howl at the moon. Just everything. You have to change your whole life when you get clean. You change so you don't get out of treatment and just fall back into your regularly scheduled bullshit and wake up drunk in Reno the next morning. I won't say I won't get high again, but I probably won't be crying about rocks on a playground again anytime soon. I'm not the oldest in the house, but out of all the people here, I've been here the longest, and I'm the closest to trying to reintegrate. I do meetings outside the house. I work. I'm working on finding a place. I'm looking into school. When I was 18 and about to graduate, I was right at this point when I left home. All the
ducks were in a row, so I knocked him over. Quack, 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 quack. I don't want to do that again. I'm so close. I'm tempted, though. I'm always tempted. I will be forever, not to drink or use, but just to fuck off and do something else. But I can't because I built this playground for the girls in the house, and I'm the dungeon master, you know? If I screw off, the heroes are just left, stranded in a world where no one can tell them if anything they do matters. We're here because we're not really ready for the whole world yet. Some of them, the girls, aren't ready for all of their choices to be like they were before the house, life-changing or life-ruining. So it just feels really important that I finish this quest line. Like Ash. She's getting strong as hell. She found her god, her badass god of chaos and atonement. And once she knew whose name it was in Natalia's prayers, it was like her whole paladin ass was on fire. Bam! Killing it. Oh, it's a cool energy. I didn't tell her this, but the girls know I struggled with the steps a little because I never really practiced any kind of religion growing up. So asking me to believe in a higher power never really went great. Like, Jesus didn't take the wheel when I was totaling my car once a month, so I'm going to give him the keys now? No, you had your chance, man. And for a while, I had this, not this sponsor, but like a mentor, sort of, who was all about picking an abstract concept in the place of an actual, like, deity, like hope, or the goodness of people, or... I mean, you know, that kind of thing. And I went with it, but then I started giving it up to Ash's god. I mean, she's a higher power, right? And I think of her and the girls and the campaign, and it's working. I mean, 11 months sober. That's not nothing. I have plans. When the hell do I have plans? And get this. I have 2 plans, a plan for when I finish the program here, and a plan for the end of the quest line. I shouldn't tell you this, but Sam is going to meet her unicorn on her birthday. Oh my God, she's going to lose her shit. And I've had Justine crafting this like secret item, like a little portal telescope that she can wear around her neck and check in on Mora's pocket dimension whenever she wants and visit her if she needs to. Haley is fine. She's got the girl in the game, even if she's not quite ready to jump into relationships again. Songwriting is keeping her out of trouble, mostly. They're all going to get what they need. They're going to be okay. I hope I will be. I'm scared. I'm really scared. But we roll the dice in this house. We take chances because we're brave. We're tough as hell. We learn and we fight and we come to the table again and again, even on bad days. Even on the worst days. We're heroes. And when the adventure is over, the hero goes home. I'm going home.
sorry, I just moved in. I just wanted to... What are you guys doing?